Call the business session of the May 2nd, 2023 meeting to order at 6:05 p.m. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes. I'm going to take the privilege of the podium up here. Michelle Hicks, I want to thank you and the rest of the staff, and Bradley too, for bringing us a little bit of our Hispanic culture up here. Those of you that were here enjoyed the Baylor Mariachi Band that were so awesome. And I just want to thank staff, and Michelle, I know you worked real hard to get this together. And I want to thank you on behalf of myself and the council up here, but more so because we shared a little bit of the Hispanic culture.
Yes.
And your colleague down there was also a ringleader in that.
Oh, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh, our pro tem, that just walked in a little late.
Was just handing a few crisp 20s out there in the hallway. Nothing, no big deal.
Our first item of business is to consider the minutes of the April 6, 2023 special meeting and the April 18th, 2023 regular city council meeting. These minutes were provided in your meeting packet. Are there any corrections?
Nope.
If no, those minutes will stand as submitted. We have three proclamations tonight, and the first is going to be the Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Show me the podium. We need our city secretary staff to come on down here. Michelle, come on, Michelle.
I'm like, seriously? You were just gonna sit over there?
Here she comes.
We'll wait on you.
Come on down, Michelle.
We'll wait.
Guys, while Michelle's coming, we have the best city secretary staff
Yeah, we do.
in the state. They take care of us,
No doubt.
deal with all of our insanity, and we're really, really thankful for each of you guys. So it is really an honor for me and our council to get to honor you and all of the great work you do. We're grateful as a city council, but really our staff and our city, Waco's a better city because of you.
Yeah.
The work that we're doing in this town right now is meaningful work, and we couldn't do it without you. So with that, I, Dylan Meek, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, do hereby proclaim April 30th through May 6th as Professional Municipal Clerks Week in the city of Waco, and urge all the citizens to join with the city council, city staff, and me in supporting and recognizing the vital services our municipal clerks perform and their exemplary dedication to the community they represent. The office of Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. Municipal Clerks Week started in 1969 and, endorsed by all of its members throughout the United States, Canada, and 15 other countries, the week is a time of celebration and reflection on the importance of the clerk's office. The office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides professional links between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. Professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality and in rendering equal service to all. The professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. It is most appropriate that we recognize and appreciate the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. In testimony whereof, witness my hand and the seal of the city of Waco this 2nd day of May, 2023. Welcome, say some words. person who has gotten a proclamation before, and I've said, you want to say it, or please say a few words, and they say, no, I'm not saying words. And just Next, we have Tourism Travel Week. Will Dan and the CVB team come on down? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. While the CVB team comes down, I want to compliment, it's the perfect day to be celebrating this because we have our mobile visitor center outside. Yeah, let's give it a clap. That is remarkable. It is beautiful. The merchandise, the style of the van, everything looks perfect. It is going to showcase Waco so well, and it is going to be such an important way for us to communicate to visitors how to engage in Waco. You know, Judge Felton says when people come to town, our goal is to separate them from their money. And we also want them to have a good time, and having a mobile visitor center like this that can really tell people how to integrate into our city is going to be really critical to achieve that goal. So with that, would you like to read? Come on. We're going to have Councilmember Merrifield, who's in the tourism industry. Yeah.
So, listen, I am in this industry, and please understand when I tell you, we are known across the state for having some of the best CVB team in the state of Texas. You all are amazing, and you do our industry a great good, and we are so proud to have you and to recognize that Travel and Tourism Week is here. And so thank you, Mayor, for allowing me, because this is my whole jam, and so I like it. So it is my pleasure to proclaim that I am not Dylan Meek, but he is, and by virtue of the authority vested in me as the Mayor of the City of Waco, Texas, do hereby proclaim May 7th through May 13th, 2023 as Travel and Tourism Week in the City of Waco, and urge all citizens to join City Council, City staff, and me in recognizing the positive effect travel has on this nation, on Texas and Waco's economy, prosperity, and image. Waco's metro area travel spending generated $685 million in 2021. The Waco metro travel industry generated 5,834 jobs and $65 million in direct tax receipts, according to Dean Runyon Associates. Meetings, events, leisure, and travel for sports events are all key components to Waco's economy. Many of Waco's hospitality and tourism businesses are made up of women-owned or minority-owned small businesses and are a part of the foundation that make Waco unique and memorable. Visitors enjoy Waco's many attractions, such as the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum, the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, Cameron Park Zoo, Cameron Park, the Waco Mammoth National Monument, the Mayborn Museum, Magnolia Market at the Silos, Elm Avenue, and Waco's Front Porch, and Austin Avenue. Visitors thrive over many offerings at Baylor University, along with multiple running and sport events, hiking, biking, trails, lake activities, water parks, Big 12 sports, the Downtown Waco Cultural District, the Sculpture Zoo, Doris Miller Memorial, arts, culture, and a myriad of festivals. We recognize that all travel, whether related to leisure, business, or sports, is beneficial. Welcoming visitors from near and far always has been and always will be the enduring ethos of the travel industry and of Waco Travel. We provide that, and Waco Travel provides that a significant economic benefit for Waco. So today, we celebrate you.
Yeah, I never pass up a mic. But a couple, Bradley, very quickly is agreeing with me. But a couple things I would want to add. One, the visitors we had in 2022, and we have an updated number that we just got from your proclamation. Because you talked about 685 million back in 2021, well, that was a long time ago. Last year, we had 770 million in direct spending. So that's a great growth. And that the money was spent by 4.3 million visitors. That's individual visitors, and those people came over 9 times. So it actually goes into like 42-some million visits. It's a lot, yeah. This is a big business for us, but it isn't all about the money, you know, despite what Judge Felton said. It's all about that look in a young person's eyes when he sees a lion for the first time at the zoo, or the awe that he has looking at a badge from a Texas Ranger, or, all of the many things we've got going on here. It's not just about the money, folks. It's about return on a lot of other things besides investment. And that's what we're here for. So we just thank you very much for this recognition. And again, thank all of you for joining us earlier to look at the mobile van. So appreciate that. Thank you.
You're never going to let me read a proclamation after Andrea sounded so beautiful reading that. So poetic. Thank you, Councilmember Bearfield.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Salvation Army Week. If Major James Taylor and his team will join me at the podium. Very thankful for all that Salvation Army also does for our community, meeting a critical need in serving people with dignity. And it's with that I, Dylan Meek, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, do hereby proclaim May 15th through the 21st, 2023 is National Salvation Army Week in the city of Waco, and urge all citizens to join the city council, city staff, and me in giving back to the community in any way that is meaningful. We have the ability as a community to directly impact the lives so many experiencing crisis right now. The Salvation Army has been serving the people of Waco for 131 years, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. The Salvation Army is present wherever need is greatest, especially during times of crisis, where vulnerable citizens are more at risk of becoming homeless, hungry, addicted, or spiritually tired. The Salvation Army invites the people of Waco to love beyond and to help the organization continue to provide life-changing aid by providing food and shelter to those who need it most. It is fitting and proper on Salvation Army Week to recognize the tremendous impact of philanthropy, volunteerism, and community service in the city of Waco. National Salvation Army Week is an opportunity to encourage the citizens to serve others with their resources and time during the difficult period many of us are experiencing. In testimony whereof, witness my hand in the seal of the city of Waco, the 2nd day of May, 2023.
I just real quickly, it's an honor that the Salvation Army has to serve this community for all these years and to help make Waco and the surrounding areas so much better than what it could be if we weren't here. We know that it's by the hand of God that the Salvation Army exists and continues to do the work that He desires for us to do. And we really, truly appreciate the partnership we have with you and the city of Waco. Thank you.
All right, next we have public hearing 2023-315.
Council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution approving the following subdivision plat. Final plat of construction plans of the Floyd Casey addition. By a vote of 9-0, the Plan Commission recommended that the subdivision plat be approved.
Are there any questions for staff? We will open a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? If not, we'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading. Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield. Rodriguez. Borderood.
Yes.
Horner. Holmes. Meek.
Carries. We'll move to public hearing 2023-316.
Honorable Mayor and Council, this is a public hearing for an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, adopting the standards of care for the City of Waco youth programs, repealing all previous ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. In 1996, City Council approved the adoption of an ordinance to establish standards of care for the City of Waco youth programs. Since then, the city has operated under these standards, which are required to be readopted annually. The City of Waco, through the Parks and Recreation Department, the Cameron Park Zoo, the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum, provides programs that contribute to the overall well-being of youth and families in Waco. These youth programs are held at the Bledsoe Miller, Doris Miller, Dewey, and South Waco Community Centers, the Cameron Park Zoo, the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum, and other outreach program locations. Pursuant to the Texas Human Resources Code, Section 42.041B14, youth programs operated by a municipality are exempt from state child care licensing requirements, providing that the governing body of the municipality annually conducts a public hearing and adopts the appropriate standards of care for such programs through the city ordinance. This ordinance includes such items as staffing ratios, minimum staff qualifications, minimum facility and health and safety standards, and mechanisms for monitoring and enforcing the local standards. In addition, parents must be informed that the programs are not licensed by the state. A copy of the current standards is provided yearly to the parents of each program participant. One revision to the standards of care for 2023 is proposed, which is the addition of the Doris Miller Community Center as a location for youth programs. The Director of Parks and Recreation Department, the Director of the Cameron Park Zoo, the Director of the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum jointly recommend that the City Council adopt the standards of care as set forth in the attached ordinance, which shows the recommended revision.
Are there any questions for staff? We will open up a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? Now we'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Second?
In a second, any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield.
Yes?
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood.
Yes.
Horner.
Aye.
Holmes. Meek.
Motion carries. We'll move to public hearing 2023-317.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, amending Section 2.2 definitions in Part 2 language of the subdivision ordinance of Appendix B subdivisions of the Code of Ordinances to change the definition of city engineer, repealing all ordinances or part of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for penalties, providing a severability clause, providing and finding determined the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 9-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the amendment as proposed.
Are there questions for staff? If not, we'll open a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? I will close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield. Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood.
Yes.
Horner.
Aye.
Holmes. Meek.
Carries. Next, we'll move to the consent agenda. The consent agenda includes resolutions 2023-318 through 335. Two items have been pulled. That's 319 first, and that is because we have a special language to be utilized. Is there a motion on resolution 2023-319?
Move for approval conditioned upon the execution of the agreement by all protestants.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood. Horner. Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
Motion carries, and we'll move to resolution 2023-332. Is there a motion?
Approval?
Second.
I have two cards for this. The first is Kenneth Wilkins. Up on deck is going to be Alan Northcote.
Good evening. My name is Ken Wilkins. My address is 5020 Bosque Ridge Road, Crawford. Thank you, Honorable Mayor, council members, and city staff for the opportunity to address you regarding Resolution 2023-332. I'm Professor Emeritus of Biology and former Associate Dean for Sciences at Baylor, being recently retired, though I do not represent the university. Rather, I am a community citizen concerned with leaving high-quality environment for our children and grandchildren. I wish to speak with you about the ice age that is rapidly coming to an end. This pertains, of course, to melting polar ice caps, retreating glaciers, and sea level rise, and these are related to the ongoing increase in global temperature caused by accumulation of greenhouse gases, CO2, and methane that are emitted by combustion of fossil fuels. But end of ice age also refers to the end of vehicles powered by ICEs, internal combustion engines. Governments and vehicle manufacturers around the world already have set schedules for phasing out of ICE vehicles. For example, for Volvo, all new cars will be EV or hybrids after 2019. Well, that was 4 years ago. And only electric vehicles by the year 2030. Makers of diesel trucks that will end sales of diesel trucks by 2040 include Volvo, Daimler, Ford, Iveco, and others. For Volkswagen, 2026 is the final year for a product start on an ICE platform. Jaguar will produce only electric vehicles by the year 2025, just 2 years from now. Car makers including Ford, GM, Jaguar, Land Rover, Mercedes-Benz, and Volvo have committed to work towards all sales of new cars and vans being zero emissions globally by the year 2040, and even sooner, no later than 2035, in leading markets. And California will not allow sales of new ICE vehicles, cars and light-duty trucks and vans beginning in 2035. So there will be a time coming fairly soon when there will be no more new ICE vehicles available for purchase. Soon thereafter, it will be difficult to find replacement parts for repairing old ICE vehicles. Indeed, there likely will come a time when gasoline and diesel fuels will be prohibitively expensive or perhaps not even any longer available. So the future clearly belongs to EVs. So does the city of Waco have a strategic plan for navigating this transition? I mean, rather than be caught in a difficult position, doesn't it make sense to begin the transition to electric vehicles now? Shouldn't every vehicle purchase be seen as a step toward building an electric fleet and as an opportunity to combat climate crisis? So I encourage the council to take full advantage of such opportunities and to contribute to a healthy environment for future Wacoans. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Doctor. Next we have Dr. Alan Northcutt.
Alan Northcutt, and you do have a handout. First, I believe the council may be sincere in its prior pledge to try to cut the city's greenhouse gas emissions, but the council is relying on misinformation or out-of-date information in this resolution. Now, the consultant on EVs, called CST, states that the EV market for heavy equipment is largely in the prototype stage. That is simply out of date. Pepsi has 36 Tesla semis on the road with plans for 100 this year. Walmart bought 130 electric semis. Now, Volvo and Freightliner also produce electric 18-wheelers. Over 2,000 heavy-duty trucks were on the road at the end of 2019. So this only prototype argument or claim is not a reason for the city to delay electrification of these refuse trucks. Now, in the agenda packet, there's a list of reasons why try to justify the purchase of these ICE vehicles. And it clearly shows an anti-EV bias. First, it says currently available. Well, in your handout, you'll see that the Lion 8 Electric has a tab for Get Yours, where you can order. The Mack Electric says Get a Quote. So it's not accurate that these electric refuse trucks aren't available. Next was purchase from a reliable manufacturer, implying that the electrics are not reliable. In fact, Mack and BYD in your packet are two of the most well-known truck manufacturers in the world. Repair facilities nearby is another reason. Well, this is designed to exclude EVs. It's unlikely that they'll have a repair facility in Waco. But obviously, any company that's making electric EVs has a protocol for repair. I have a Tesla. There's no Tesla dealer here, but there's a procedure where I can get repairs done very, very efficiently. So there are multiple opportunities for the city to purchase an EV refuse truck now, or at the minimum to do a serious investigation of this possibility. The packet also states that the purchase of this vehicle is essential to the health and safety of the public. But this mandate clearly favors electrics, which eliminate dangerous tailpipe emissions of the ICE vehicles and eliminate the significant noise pollution in our neighborhoods that come from these ICE refuse trucks. So, in my view, approval of this resolution, the council claiming to desire emission cuts while wasting an opportunity to do so, is greenwashing. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Council.
Field.
Just 1 second. You asked for discussion.
Sure.
And I was in a hole in my mindset. And I would like to enter in if that's all right. Paul? I need to know if you, because I was trying to pull it up right now, but the site is down. Are we on any lists right now? And do we have, well, back up. Do we have the capabilities and the infrastructure to support these things in place right now?
No, ma'am, we don't.
Is there a pathway? Because never mind the vehicles. If I don't have the infrastructure, it will not matter. You know, because I know from a state perspective, from a national perspective, you know, federally even, we are being given funds to make infrastructure available for the electrification of vehicles and to support and sustain battery-operated vehicles, right? Okay, because in the conversations that we've had in MPO, we're currently applying for federal funding to support those things, right? In addition to what the state of Texas is pursuing to put in up and down the I-35 corridor, is that correct? What is the timeline about the infrastructure? Because if we don't have the infrastructure, it doesn't matter if they're available or not.
The specific timeline, Councilman, remember, I couldn't answer that, but I would say years.
Okay. Is there a way, and are we prepared to make this at some point? I mean, I'm not going to ask that way. Council has already committed to doing more work for sustainability than any council previously, I would say. And so we are actively preparing for this infrastructure right now. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, we are, and I think a couple of points with regard to what the solid waste department in particular is doing. We're looking at reuse of the methane gas from our landfill. We're looking at solar panels at the landfill today, which make exponentially more difference to the greenhouse gases in Waco than EVs do. And I think to some of the points that were raised, you know, we are willing and eager to take advantage of the technology as it comes into play and is demonstrated to be successful and cost efficient. And those things are what we're hoping to see happen. We don't necessarily want to be the first, and some of the industries today are ordering and using 18-wheelers and such in their programs, but they're a small percentage of the total fleet. And so we're looking for technology to improve, to demonstrate its sustainability over time, and all of those factors come into play, and that's some of the reasons that were listed in the item page get to those points, I believe.
Paul, the only thing I'd add, I think anytime, you know, we talk about EVs, it's important to recall what the actions of the council have been. And we wrote that up in our in our April retreat, we wrote a pretty compelling informal report, and I just asked the public to look at that, because what you'll see is a definite shift that the council member's talking about in our acquisition of EVs. And like we've consistently talked about, we're starting, to further Paul's point, we're starting with vehicles that are smaller and are working our way to larger vehicles, because that's what the market is doing. And I just want to highlight a couple things there. You know, we've ordered 72 vehicles this fiscal year so far, 34 alternative fuels, accounting for about half of them being alternative fueled. We now have 10 EVs in the fleet, including in multiple departments, including our first frontline police vehicle, which has arrived. So I would not say that the council has not put its words into play here. Y'all have said it, and we're attempting to do it in conjunction with the market.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Please poll the council.
Fairfield.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood.
Yes.
Horner. Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries. And now we'll go to the consent agenda, which includes resolutions 2023-318 through 335, with the exceptions of 319 and 332. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood. Horner. Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
That motion carries, and we'll move to ordinance 2023-336.
An ordinance amending Section 23-4 definitions of Article 1 General Provisions of Chapter 23 Right-of-Way Management of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco, Texas, to change the definition of city engineer, providing a severability clause, repealing all ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing a savings clause, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for an effective date, and finding and determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance comes to council on first reading.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on first reading?
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Fairfield. Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood. Horner. Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll move to ordinance 2023-338.
337, Mayor.
337, sorry, got ahead of myself.
Ordinance amending Section 1632 Notice and Abatement Lien Procedure of Article 2 Unsanitary or Unsightly Matter, Weeds and Rubbish of Chapter 16 Nuisances of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco, Texas, to authorize the city manager to appoint a designee to release liens filed by the city, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for an effective date, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance comes to council on first reading.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Fairfield. Rodriguez. Borderood.
Yes.
Horner. Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
Carries, and we'll move to ordinance 2023-338.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, abandoning portions of rights-of-way of Flint Street, South 13th Street, and an alley described as 1.970 acre public right-of-way abandonment tract in the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, being a portion of Flint Street right-of-way according to the map of Coggin and Parks Edition recorded in Volume 48, page 332 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas, and the map of S.P. Ross Homestead Edition recorded in Volume 92, page 92 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas. Also, according to the unrecorded S.P. Ross subdivisions as shown on McLennan County Tax Appraiser's map, page number 31, also being all of a 20-foot wide alley right-of-way lying within Block 105, according to set plat of the Coggin and Parks Edition, finding no duty to maintain, authorizing the city manager to execute quitclaim deeds, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by a 6-0 council vote on first reading on April 18, 2023.
Move for approval on second reading.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Fairfield. Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood. Horner. Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
So we'll move to ordinance 2023-339.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, abandoning a portion of right-of-way out of Cleveland Avenue described as a 50-foot wide 0.384 acre Cleveland Avenue right-of-way abandonment tract being out of the SP Ross Homestead subdivision according to the map thereof recorded in volume 92, page 92 of the deed records in McLennan County, Texas, finding no duty to maintain, authorizing the city manager to execute quitclaim deeds, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by a 6-0 council vote on first reading on April 18, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Second?
Discussion. Please poll the council.
Fairfield.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood.
Yes.
Horner. Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll go to ordinance 2023-340.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, abandoning a 20-foot utility easement located on property known as 10033 Parker Springs Drive, described as a 0.1630 acre tract of land out of the James Lane Survey, abstract number 531, situated in the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, and being a portion of the called 73.192 acre tract of land, conveyed to Swanson Finley Limited by deed of record in document number 2003-042917 of the deed records in McLennan County, Texas, being all of a called 20-foot utility easement of record in document number 20042277 of said deed records, finding no duty to maintain, authorizing the city manager to execute quitclaim deeds, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by a 6-0 council vote on first reading on April 18, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Fairfield. Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood. Horner. Holmes.
Aye.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll go to ordinance 2023-341.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, creating a planned unit development PUD, approving the concept plan for the PUD, changing the zoning classification from R1B to O2 to a planned unit development on certain property described as approximately 40.50 acres of land in the Tomas de la Vega Survey, abstract number 43, City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, being part of that called Tract 6, 54.47 acres, and Tract 3, 0.25 acres, being all of Tract 5, 2.15 acres, and Tract 4, 1.24 acres, described in a deed to Pacific Operating Company, recorded in volume 1614, page 542 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas, property ID 180691, known as 2001 North Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, repealing all ordinance or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by a 6-0 council vote on first reading on April 18, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Borderood.
Yes.
Horner. Holmes. Meek.
Yes, the motion carries, and we'll move to the hearing of visitors. During the hearing of visitors section of the agenda, we provide an opportunity for the public to present concerns or address issues that are not matters of consideration on the agenda. If you're unable to approach the podium due to physical limitations, a microphone is available to be brought to you. We have only one card tonight, and that's Mr. Ephraim Herring.
I got a major concern after last council meeting about economic development in District 1. To be totally exact, for Northeast Riverside section of District 1. Back in 2015 to 2019, Northeast Riverside Association was told that they're going to bring in a hotel, 2 hotels, and they're going to bring in jobs for those people in that area. These 2 hotels right now, I drive by them every day when I come on this side, has not opened. Those jobs promised are not there. So when we talk economic development, Northeast Riverside haven't received it. Also, I've noticed in my same area there, Northeast Riverside, we lost 5 businesses. I guess one business we lost because there was a disagreement with the council member and the business owner. So we ended up losing 2 businesses, one that was proposed and one that was open that was very profitable, but now it's not there no more. Then we had another business, we started Elm Avenue, that is not even open. So it has Elm Avenue been working on, but that business is not there now, so you can't go down there and get anything. Then also on the other end, because we don't pay attention now, I walk Elm Avenue every day. That's my relief. Because I remember when Elm Avenue was, you could buy anything on Elm Avenue you do want. I never had to cross the river for anything. So I've lost the muffler shop on the end, because I seen them moving out the other day talking to them. They can't get no business because nobody can get down Elm Avenue to see them. And then we got another place there y'all closed up because she couldn't get no business going in too when y'all started Elm Avenue. So now I hear economic development. I still haven't seen in Northeast Riverside what was promised. City of Waco came in there and said, we're gonna bring you some business here. My favorite is gonna bring you a dry cleaner. I gotta drive to Bellmead or I gotta drive on this side of town to go get my dry cleaning done. I've yet to see that. So when I hear economic development and I hear traffic, you approve a 30-story building, which with 10 people in each one of those buildings, that drives a car, that's 300 people on that road, which right now needs work. Taylor Avenue's been torn up and down more times than I can count them on my fingers. But my question is are we using taxpayers' money properly when we start giving out these economic development grants? And TIP fund, tax incentive fund. I watch Maine use, I watch Miami use it, I watch Norfolk use it. That's funds coming out of the revenue fund to give people for their taxes. That's not money coming back in. So if the hotel's not working, that means no money going to coffers. If we're losing business over there, that means no money going to coffers. So now, I'm paying an extra fee for a road that I thought y'all budget when you do your taxes for each city operation. So my question is simple. What are we exactly doing with the money? Are we really considering what the people need in District 1? Especially North Riverside, because they do some business left and right.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Is there anyone else here who would like to speak? If not, we'll close the hearing of visitors. Are there any council member announcements?
Mayor, just briefly, I wanted to acknowledge the leadership of Peter Colchin, who is stepped down this month as the longtime chair of the Heart of Texas Behavioral Health Network, formerly known as the Heart of Texas Region MHMR Center. He served as the chair for over 27 years and on the board for over 30. I believe I was in middle school when he started on the board. He's been a wonderful leader for the local mental health authority based here in Waco, and just grateful for his service. On another note, wanted to thank Jonathan and Megan and the team for the wonderful Suspension Bridge grand reopening. It was well executed. The weather was greatly cooperative, and the mayor had great remarks and just wonderful band at Brazos Nights, wonderful bands at Brazos Nights, but that was just a joyful community celebration, well executed all around. Thank you.
Mayor, just wanted to give a shout out to Priscilla Ard and Deidre Emerson. We had our third session of our Real Institute cohort that Waco is a part of, one of the 10 cities that were selected in the country to participate in this inaugural program with the National League of Cities dealing with race equity and leadership. And we had our meeting today, and you just need to know that your staff members have such a commitment to this community and to this city and seeing forth its racial equity vision. And I appreciate our city leadership and our staff for making that a priority and part of our strategic plan.
I agree with Councilmember Bearfield and also Councilmember Borderoud on their comments. A couple other things that we can bear in mind as we go into the week ahead. It's a Teacher Appreciation Week. To all the teachers in our community, thank you for what you do to educate our children and make our community stronger. It's also Mental Health Awareness Week for those who want to learn more about what resources are available to you in the community. I hope this week is a week that can be achieved. And it's also Asian American and Pacific Island Heritage Month this week, and we certainly celebrate that community in our city and the culture, and it'll be a great month of celebration for that cause.
There are a lot of events going on this week, so if you follow Waco happenings on any of the social media platforms, you'll see a lot of events specifically for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Awesome. Thanks, Councilmember. Are there any member reports on committees, boards, commission liaison visits, or requests for the scheduling of future agenda items? If not, we will close this meeting and adjourn this meeting at 6:50 PM. Michelle, you're 20 minutes late. 20 minutes later than you called.